learning your repertoire with the Bach. So you have to learn the notes. You cut the piece up into little 4-bar phrases or 2-bar phrases or 6-note phrases or whatever you need to do, and only work on each section at a time, because that way we build the jigsaw puzzle in our mind. You can see I'm using as much bow as possible. This is the basic bowing technique you need to practice, and speed you need to practice to learn the notes and get your reflexes to be able to play this piece. When it comes to the bars with the slurs in it, you can see I'm actually, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm working my way to the upper half through each, crawling my way to the upper half through each of those bars. You can see I'm not staying here and then using one long bow. You kind of have to measure in a judged fashion how to crawl the bow up and down the strings to make a really even sound. So if we go a little bit further through the study, learning to play at speed. Try 1 bar and 1 note and just get the reflex to make the tempo you want. So if you want the tempo, fa ba da 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 dee 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 ba da da dum. It's about there, isn't it? So just try 1 bar and 1 note. Until you feel really sort of comfortable with it. Then the 2nd bar and 1 note. Then join it together. And so on for the whole piece. You sort of physically repeating it, and nice and relaxed, because you've already practiced the notes, you've already practiced the bowing, you kind of know how it goes. Now you have to free up and try and express the music, which really has something to do with how you hear it. So hopefully you're also listening to this repertoire as a CD or as a performance on radio or on YouTube or something. A really basic technique to getting around the violin generally in the left hand is always knowing where your first finger is. So if you have 3rd position, if you have 4th position, if you know where all the positions are, well, all of them. You know I can find sharp 2nd position. You see what I mean? It's a thing you have to know. So here with the Accolay Concerto, I'm going to mask how the first finger mentally operates and how you need to practice with the idea of using the first finger as a way of moving around the violin. Now the next thing I have to know is where's 3rd position, because in fact for the next few lines it's the same position jump, isn't it? Now of course your next note, and the fingering I've given you, the G sharp, is only a semitone away. So that's a no-brainer, that should be easy. Now to the next position is a minor 3rd shift, because it's a C and because you're going to use that first finger in about 5 notes. And there it is. And now we switch. So if you're reading the music, you'll see I've added in extra notes, which is part of your practice mechanism. individual shifts you need to become familiar with by practicing 4 times each, a few times in a row, you know. And then when we play the music, we now have to drop out the masked notes. And so to the next group, it's the same function. And of course this is actually a double stop, and you let the bow make the individual sounds. Now I'd like to try to get you to do different fingering. Now I want you to try 4th position. I want you to know where that D is. Find that D in that position, which of course, and then the bit G on the A and C on the D and an F on the G. Here's 3rd position. So I want you to find that 3rd finger, because the next 3 notes, 3, 2, 1. Makes it a lot easier to play. You don't have to crush your fingers up from 3rd and, you know, the notes are actually just tones apart, and so we play the fingers a tone apart. And now with the masked other notes. First up bow, fast, and slow down. And you really have to sort of trust the slow sound, but maintain the rhythm in the left hand. 1, 2, 3. So from there to the first double stop, you have to know where 2nd finger is. And then the 3rd finger is just a semitone away on the next string. Still keep the 2nd finger down because that's your hook. So flat 3rd to sharp 3rd. 2nd finger is still your hook because it's across on the next string. So these 3 double stops are actually held together with the 2nd finger. And now the 4th finger is just, you know where that is. And you just have to, unfortunately, this is just difficult, you just have to practice it. There's your first. Always know where first is. The section on page 2 with the short spiccato sounds. Always make more bows for each note, because that way you practice the bowing, and it might even help if you did it in 3s. Do 1 bow at a time. The idea is to get the bow used to doing the movement. Always in 3s. It's just a nice relaxed feeling, and it's like brushing a little bit, suspended, and you're not actually playing off the string. It's still on, so this is an on the string sound. But when we suspend the hand a little bit and relax the wrist, we allow the ends of the sounds to release. There's a little bit of finger action going on. In fact, that's a very good practice if you can do the action without moving the arm at all. Once you have the action going, you can try 6 notes plus 1. Or even just the first 4, to get the reflex of the music and which you build on as you learn through the parts. I'm only doing each one twice, but it gives you the idea of what I'm doing and what you should probably do several times a day. So you get these little reflexes, and then eventually you just have to try peeling it off and see how far you get. So I now have to practice the third into the fourth beat into the first beat to remember, because it's a sharp third down to a flat third. And now together. And now I've learned it. I mean, you know, I've relearned it. So this is the process you're doing to improve each little section as you go.